Welcome back to another episode of Who Am I to Judge podcast. I'm Alexis.
And I am Samantha. We're back again.
We're back. How are you, Samantha?
Whew. I am tired. Like,
What are you tired from? Like, what's going on?
Just work. I feel like the past 2 days have been like my first days off in a little while, like the past 2 weeks. I was teaching the yoga class on Monday and Friday, and then I was at work, and yeah, it's just been a lot of working, a lot of moving pieces. But yeah, I'm just so tired. I don't know if it's like the astrology or what, but I've literally had like existential yawns. Like I be yawning and I'm like, oh shit. Like I'm just yawning
like, I'm
so
tired.
hard. Yes. So yeah, I'm just like happy that I took a nap today, which is rare for me and I really needed it. And back to work tomorrow. So yeah. What about you? How are you this work week after your weekend wedding?
Oh yeah, the wedding was interesting actually. I mean, I told you so me and Julia went to a wedding with her family. Went to a wedding this past weekend in Hudson Valley, which was so interesting. It was interesting already because it was like her cousin's getting married to a Haitian man. It was a black man. I was like, oh, I'm so curious how this like intermingling is gonna go at this wedding, because it's like because from what I know of her family, like one side of the family, it's like they're nice and kind, but they're not like people that I would consider that could like probably casually intermingle with other
hang out with Haitians.
Families, right? Exactly. And so I was like, I was like, I am so curious what's gonna happen here. The wedding, it was outside, so when I tell you, everyone was sweating, Samantha. Like I could feel a sweat go down my leg. Like I was like, what in the world?
You were mad. I would have been pissed.
I was just like, oh my god, it's so hot. And then but it was like it was like a pretty grounds and stuff. So like I get why they wanted the outdoor wedding, but it was so hot. And then we went. Then cocktail hour was my favorite. They had, oh my god, good food, chicken and waffles. They had lamb. They had pulled pork empanada. Like I was like, this is
at least
great.
The food was hitting.
The cocktail hour was hitting. We can get to the food later. And so the cocktails were great. Like I loved that, and I was able to like talk to Julia's uncle, who I love, and like he's like the musician I tell you about, who's like just super cool, and his wife, who's super cool, and their son. And then we got sit down at our table for the wedding, and I was like, great. It was like young people. It was fun, but I've never seen this. Like they came in, they introduced the party, like so and so's coming in. They had the first dance with like the father and daughter, and then they were like, all right, everybody, get up out of your seats, let's dance. And then they played September by Earth, Wind and Fire, and I'm looking around like, are they going to feed us at this wedding? Because I'm like, I've never been to a wedding.
They gave you the food part. That's probably why.
No, they had the cocktail hour. Cocktail hour happens at every wedding. Like, that's nothing new. And so I was just like, why are we dancing? But it was hilarious. So we danced, and then we sat back down after the dancing. Then they had the food. The food was, Julia didn't like the food. I thought it was okay.
What was the food?
It was buffet style, and I really don't like buffet style at a wedding. But anyway,
no, I don't like that.
It was like grilled, like a piece of baked chicken. These were the options, like baked chicken. There was like a salmon option. There was like a beef thing, and there was mashed potatoes. There was like a vegetable medley, and then there was like this like weird pasta thing. It wasn't good. But
it's weird that the was so good.
I was thinking the same thing. And then so we ate the food, and then they were like, all right, let's go back to dancing. They played, they like everybody got up and danced, and then they played Cooper Shuffle. I had to organize the whole thing because I was like, nobody didn't know what to do. Literally, Julia's cousin came up to me and thanked me at the end, like I just want to thank you for organizing the Cupid Shuffle. I was like, okay, guys. And then we danced some more, and then
I wish I could have seen that.
It was hilarious. And then at
like,
the end of the wedding, they had they put out bacon, egg, and cheeses for everybody. I was like, okay. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
cute.
why are the appetizers better than the actual fucking food? Like, that was the weirdest part
maybe
to me.
maybe like the event space did the food at the wedding, but not the, you know, like the little outside parts.
I told you I was fucked up at the beginning of that wedding though, because I was like, let me just do vodka sodas, you know, low cal, and it's like, you know, it's usually not that, but I was like,
look at you.
I feel like each time I was just like, Julie's like, you ready for another? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I was in the beginning of that wedding. I like remember just being like, I could possibly throw up. Like, I need to I know. I was like, I need to.
When the wedding didn't even happen yet.
I'm starting like, I'm talking about during first dance when they were like, everybody, let's get up before the food. Like, I remember I was like flung out of my seat. I was like, let's go for it. But I was just also like, oh my God, I'm so fucking drunk. And then I was like, I need to sober up. So then we had the food and it like sobered me up. And then I like drank a little bit after that. But I remember being like, I can't. Like, I'm fucked up. But it was like overall, like I would say I had a good time. I've been to more fun weddings, but this wasn't terrible. It was good to see Julia's uncle and aunt who I love. I'm a wedding critic, and this is my other thing I have to say, and then I can move on from my weekend. Like, I feel like I am a very harsh critic when it comes to the bride. Like
Alexis.
And I mean, and I'm not saying that to be a bad thing. Most of the time I have very high expectations, and each time
of what? How they look?
Just how like you look that day, because I know I have high expectations of how I would look on that day. But literally when I tell you, usually every single bride I see, I always turn to whoever's next to me and is like, oh, they did that. Like it's very rare that I don't think people exceed my expectations. Like usually people like understand the assignment and they come in and they look gorgeous. Like my friend Brooke, I remember seeing her and being like, oh my gosh, she killed it. Julia's friend Susie, that from 2 summers ago, I remember being like, oh, she did that. Like so many people do so well. There's only been now 2 weddings that I have been to where I have been like, oh no, like I might look better than the bride in this moment.
Alexis.
I'm not being mean. This is my opinion. They can have a different opinion. I'm not saying they look
better than the bride.
I'm not saying they look bad, but I'm saying I have seen them look prettier, you know what I mean, in different times. And so I fear this was the second moment. Like I was like,
I remember the first one.
Don't say it, but
I will not.
But this is the second time, and I was like, oh my God. Like I was just like, it was an updo. I don't like updos on like white girls. I hate to say it. And then the dress was just it wasn't that most flattering. It didn't make her look bad, but I think there's other options that would have made her look even better. And this is the thing. It's like she looked pretty. I'm not gonna say she didn't look good, but it was just like she didn't like have she didn't get the reaction out of me where I was like,
wow.
Oh, you did that. Right, exactly. The wow. And so that was like an interesting thing about the wedding. But other than that, and they played some Haitian music. I had a good time with the Haitians. Like it was a good time.
You had a good time with the Haitians. I'm dead. I'm glad you had a fun wedding. How's your work week starting out? Are you having
the same? You know, busy. Today was a particularly busy day because I just haven't really had a break. But you know, like it's the same. No complaints. I'm getting paid. I work remotely. It's like hard to complain.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's get to it. Who is on trial?
Well, we are definitely going to be talking about the thing that everybody's talking about this week, which is the Olympics.
The Olympics
is on trial this week, I guess.
And I guess specifically Simone Biles, because I feel like that's who we want to talk about.
Yes, but I will say, like, I've been watching. I feel like I've always been like with gymnastics and stuff and like the Olympics, like I will catch stuff, and obviously like I know like the big names, especially out of like the Black community. It's just always been that, like Dominique Doss, and you know, so when Simone Biles came around, it was just like, of course, like I'm about to go up for her. But I feel like I never pay that much attention to like just the sport in general and what it
You're talking about gymnastics or
gymnastics
oh,
and
okay.
just like a lot of the other like Olympic sports. I feel like I've been actually really watching and paying attention. So yeah, I've never really paid attention to the Olympics that much, but I feel like this year I'm like I watched the documentary, so that like gave me a lot of background on just like Simone Biles' story. I didn't know much about her story. And then I've heard about like Suni Lee's
Mm-hmm.
story, and I'm just like, wow, like, just hearing their stories and just all they've gone through is just very inspiring and beautiful, and like, just makes me real. I mean, I still feel like I can't really wrap my head around like how amazing Simone Biles is, because she it just makes it look so easy, but it's just like she is she's just in the league of her own. So
Like literally a league in her own. Like they have made like a whole different difficulty level, like scoring just for like
yes.
based off of Simone Biles being like exceeding the normal difficulty so much they had to make a whole new scoring method. I mean, I feel like that alone tells you like, woo, like this is out of this world. And I don't know. I feel like I've like had a lot of moments this year, and this is kind of about the Olympics, but also just sports in general and just people in general, where I'm like I feel so incredibly grateful to be living in the time of so many icons that people will talk about in history.
Mhm.
Like there has
Mhm.
been so many things that we have, like our generation has been alive for, and I don't know if this is like common, if like every generation feels like, oh, we get to see this. But I'm just like Simone Biles, Beyonce. We saw Michael Phelps, Katie Ledecky. Like these are just Olympic people besides Beyonce. Obama. Like, I mean, there's so many things, like
Kamala
people,
Harris.
Kamala Harris, like, I mean, it's just
I
insane.
just
And
think it gets better and better as the
it
generations go
does. But
on.
they were just like talking about today how, like, really revel in this moment with Simone, because this takes like, it's like it will take another generation possibly to get another one of her. Like, and they kind of talked about how like prior to Michael Phelps, it's before Michael Phelps, it was like 66 years to get to Michael Phelps from the last like swimming dominating person. They
Wow.
talk about with Simone Biles, they like get the years as well. Like it took so many years to get to Simone Biles. It's like, yeah, like it might take another 30 years before we get somebody the level of Simone Biles or better. So it's like we truly, it's like
Mhm.
once in a, it's like, yes, it keeps getting better, but to that level of talent, it's like once in a lifetime,
It
like for some
is.
people, like you might only live to see Simone Biles.
Oh my god, yes. And I think too, again, I do feel like just I don't know, it is just amazing to see, like I feel like in the documentary it just kind of showed like how like black women started to become like Olympians,
Yeah.
and then so I feel like just as we made strides of like seeing what's possible, it's just like, yeah, then this little angel Simone Biles comes in the
I
world, and it's
really,
like,
really was happy that the like documentary like shit like put some respect on Gabby Douglas's name, because
yes.
I feel like she has, I feel like I remember like when she was in the Olympics and she like made history, and then I feel like after that she became like a troll, like a meme to people. Like people like
Mm.
literally like talked about her hair as they talk about the thing, but then I remember like there was a video of her doing the Dougie and it was terrible, and like the black community trolled her about the Dougie. And then like she posted another video, I remember like a couple, maybe like last year, where it was just like a normal video on TikTok. I mean, a TikTok on Instagram, but her wig was looking atrocious, and people were like commenting on the wig. And so I just feel like she's always been like, it's like her legacy, I feel like sometimes is overshadowed by just her kind of being kind of used as like something to laugh at times. And so I was happy that they kind of were like, no, she like whatever, maybe she can't dance,
Yeah.
maybe she can't whatever, but it's like should be respected. And
Oh
I
my
like I
god, the things that matter again from last week.
exactly,
It's
exactly.
like, what matters right now? Like, why are we talking about her hair and her dancing when she just did this,
Right.
you know?
And I feel like, so like people I feel like have talked about her looks. I don't know. I just feel like I was happy that they like talked about her because I feel like, yes, like Dominique Dawes always gets talked about. Like, that's never a person who doesn't get talked about when you talk about Black gymnasts. And Simone Biles obviously will be in that conversation too. But I was happy to see Gabby Douglas like get a
Yeah.
little
And
love.
so I'm curious because this is like a question for you because obviously we know that the hair conversation comes up so much. And it was also interesting too because I love the part where they talked about how like her mom braids her hair before everything, and I think that that's like obviously like a ritual that they have and like a connection moment, and it was really cool too to see how much like community and like your support has to do with it, like how when she went to Tokyo in 2020 and like her family couldn't go and she didn't have those moments, like was when she had the moment of getting the twisties and all that stuff. And so I just think that was cool. But I wanted to ask you because I know you are a hair person and like a hair
Oh, that's funny.
like you have opinions about hair, and so when you see that or when you have seen it, because now obviously it is like it's just like, come on guys, like that should not be again the focus, like Black people, come on, like she's she is, we're seeing history in front of our face. And
so what's your question?
Hold on. So and I like that they talked about, and this is obvious, this is in like a lot of different sports, but just like hair and just like how just their appearance was like deducting points at a point, it was just like the body type of like a white girl and like the hair pulled back or whatever was acceptable. So my question is like, were you ever in that, like, what's going on with their hair and like how do you feel now? Like how do you feel now? Yeah. And
I'm sure I thought it for like a second. I don't think I've ever tweeted. I mean, I'm just not a person who tweets a lot. So it's like, I don't think I ever publicly said anything, but I think I probably thought it, but then
you notice hair so quickly.
I do, but then I do also think to myself, they're flipping, like, so I feel like I don't expect their hair to be, I feel like one thing I feel like if I thought about anything with their hair, it was that nobody ever wears it natural. I feel like I thought about that a lot, like how it's like a lot of them wear like weaves, and I feel like I've thought like, or not even or they don't wear braids, and I feel like I've had the thought of like, oh, their hair actually they would not have to worry about some of these comments or even just like their hair flying out of place if they just like had it natural, or if they had braids more so. And I'm actually curious, like I would be curious and to talk to them about that. Like I'm sure like it probably sucks to flip with braids, but like why not wear it natural? Like what is stopping you from that? Because like
I mean, I
would be curious.
I just feel like wearing your hair natural is such a journey. Like,
it's
like it is like, especially when you're wearing your hair straight, forever. It's just like it is a different look. And it's like she might not want to have that look right now.
She might not. Yeah.
But I am curious about the braids. I did think about the braids, but I also thought, like, wouldn't it be harder to flip with braids? But I did see like Brazil had braids.
Yeah, Rebecca had it. I feel like maybe and I feel like there's different ways to do it. Like I feel like nowadays there's like human hair, which is much lighter. You don't have to have it down to your butt. You could wear it in a bob. You could have like cornrow. Like there's other ways to do it. I don't know. I just think about like, I don't know. Like, I would love to talk to them because I feel like I think about Sha'Carri and how like she has totally revamped the aesthetic of like what a track star could look like. It's like, I feel like prior to Sha'Carri, the Black girls were wearing braids. Like, they were wearing cornrows to their hair or braids, right? And I feel like she brought in like the wigs, and like we're talking the exaggerated wigs, like, they're pink and they have the baby hair and they're half up, half down, and they're down to your butt. And I feel like she has really like reimagined what it looks like to be a track star as a Black girl. I would love to talk to Simone Biles about like, and I'm not saying she's like she should do that, but I'm just saying I would love to talk to her about like why. Sh- to me, it appears that like her hair is trying to like do what the white girl's hair does. And I'm not saying that like in a bad way, but I'm saying like, oh, you want a slick ponytail? Okay, I'm gonna straighten my hair. I'm gonna wear the slick ponytail. We've all been there, done that, where there's like different expectations for us at dance or something where it's like you have to have a
Mm-hmm.
ponytail, we're gonna do it. I'm not judging her on that, but I'm saying I'm curious if she's ever had the thought to say, oh, like why don't I like reimagine this aesthetic? No one can do their
Mm-hmm.
shit like as good as me. No one can, you know, it's like, why
Mm-hmm.
can't I do this? I would love to know because I feel like I wonder if she actually even wants to wear these weaves with like straight hair and try to like bobby pin everything down to the fly. Like, I'm curious if she wants to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like the ritual part of it is just like her mom braids her hair before she does it. And it's just like that's probably the easiest way, like if she had braids, she wouldn't be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
she had knotless individuals, she wouldn't be able to do that. And I also think too, like it's like especially like this is one person out of society and she happens to be an amazing gymnast, and it's just like maybe she really just doesn't care about that,
She
like
might not. Yeah.
like there's people that literally just do not really care that much about hair
Or
and
just their appearance, like, period. Like, you know, they're
yeah,
just
or
like,
just like that amount of attention to detail, because I even feel like there's a varying level, like even between me and you, like
I don't care
there's
that much. I feel like you care more than me about stuff. I don't get my
what.
nails done. My eyebrows get done like
I'm
once a
talking
blue
about
moon. I don't care about half that shit.
listen to what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying noticing things about other people and even just like myself. Like I'm just like I feel like when I see people, like I don't notice a lot of stuff that I feel like you do in terms of hair. And I feel like it's just because I don't know, I just don't care that much. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I
If you
think
don't have an
people
interest, that makes sense. Then you
I
don't
mean, I
care.
do. I have an interest, but it's not like it's just different. It's just like, oh, like her hair looks good versus like I know that's something that you pay attention and look at, And I feel like other people,
Yeah, I think
because
it's
it's
because
not
it's
the
an
top of my
interest for me.
brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like not like the top of my thing. It's just like, okay. Like just like you said, you don't get your nails done. Like there's some people that'll be like, what? Like I could never not have a manicure. It's just like she just might happen to be somebody that's like, I don't really
Yeah.
care that much about my hair. Like but
Absolutely.
I'm a gymnast, and I feel like it's
Yeah.
just interesting to see. And because again, we're talking about like not that many black people. Like
Mhm.
this is Gabby Douglas and Simone Biles. This is two girls that are again, I feel like, and I'm not judging anybody. Like, I think this is a conversation for us all because I think we do. I don't know if it comes down to like our, respectability politics or whatever, but like when people see hair not looking perfect or whatever, it's like, I just feel like it rubs black people the wrong way sometimes. And
I
it's
think it's
just
a
like,
lot of things. I mean, I think it's a lot of things. I think it's also subjective because I feel like some people might like her hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there are
mm-hmm,
black people that don't, like, obviously, really, really didn't to the point where they were tweeting at her. And I think
mm,
that there
mm,
were
mm,
also
mm.
people that probably liked her hair. Like, you know, so I feel like it's subjective. But then, secondly, I feel like, um, I think black people, I mean, and I don't even want to say black people because that's too general. But I think some people in the black community like care about hair a lot. One, because they might have a passion for hair and they're interested in it or something. But then secondly, it might be because I feel like that has been like a thing people were able to like weaponize against you so much that like
Mm-hmm.
they really don't want any other black person to have to like go through that, or for any black person to like symbolize like
Mm-hmm.
all the bad connotations because their hair is not done to white
Mm-hmm.
people. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think, and then I also think it could be respectability politics. I feel like it's a lot of things. I think necessarily some of it comes from a bad place, and I think necessarily some of it comes from a good place, but they're just doing it from their way of going about it is like really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah,
hurtful to her.
yeah.
But
I agree. That's a good way to sum it up.
mhm. But I feel like regardless, it seems that Simone has risen above it and like
He
doesn't
is
really
so
care.
strong. It's just like I just feel like they are just so strong. Like just their bodies, and it's just so much. And then another thing just like about the culture of gymnastics, like I didn't realize, I told you I watched the
Mhm.
Athlete A
Mhm.
documentary, and so I didn't know a lot about the sexual abuse that was happening by Larry
You didn't know
Nasser.
that?
No, I didn't know anything about that.
Wow.
And I
It was
didn't
such
know.
a big news story like 2 years ago. Even without
No.
watching Athlete 8, like it was all over the news because they were televising each girl's story because like all these
Yeah,
gymnasts came to
no.
talk.
I was not
And
involved. I'm
that's
telling you,
so
like sports and
interesting.
stuff,
But it was on like it
but
that I feel like
again,
that was like a moment that transcended sports.
I'm also not a news person. Like I don't watch the news.
Mhm. I feel
Like,
like
you
this was a
know.
pop culture moment too. I don't know. It's just interesting, but I mean, it goes to show you that
Yeah.
not everybody's paying attention to that kind of stuff.
Yes, yes. I was definitely not. Like and that sometimes happens too where like I've noticed that like when I'm watching these documentaries of like shit that happened,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, oh, I missed that. Like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize that was happening during that
Mm-hmm.
time. But yeah, I didn't know all of that stuff. And
Mm.
so just the culture of like, how it's like it seems to be it seems like it changed a little bit, but just like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter about, your body. Like I forget the girl's name, but how she like had to do she like did something on a very injured leg, and
Carrie
like
Strug,
yeah, it was just like you like just go and do it or whatever.
1996 Olympics. Yes, that was a
Oh,
very
Alexis is an Olympics
well.
historian.
Well, I feel like I've always paid attention to the Olympics, and I've also always have paid attention to the Olympics gymnastics. So through that, I have like learned about these stories, you know.
Yeah.
And then also I was very interested in I feel like people have just always referred to the Carrie Strug moment like prior to like Simone's thing. Like that has been like a
Mhm.
very bad like something they spotlight about sports just in
Mhm.
general. Because I mean, she
Mhm.
had to get like ACL surgery. Like they took her out
Mm.
on a like if you like have ever seen the extended clip, she's in a stretcher getting pulled out after she gets like you know what I'm
Yes,
saying,
I
and then
know.
she's in a cast getting her medal. You know, so I mean,
Yeah.
like yes, it was very toxic.
Yeah. I want you to know, I definitely feel like, oh, I just know people that I know also don't know. It's like, I
Mm-hmm.
know it's surprising, but people don't know about this, I'm sure. Cause it's just like, I don't know. I just know a couple people I could think about that's like this was happening. But yeah, like so I was getting an education on that front and just seeing how like, it was like acceptable. It was like expected to be like mean, like the coaches are
Mm-hmm.
just like, I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that
I
was
feel like
interesting.
I also like left the documentary, not Athlete A, but the Simone Biles one, being very careful about how I talk about Simone just in general, because I feel like I have used words like strong, and not that it's a bad thing to say she's strong, but I feel like I have talked about her in ways that make her like superhuman. And I feel like
Mhm.
her whole point of the documentary was like, I'm not superhuman. Like, like I actually like am so human. I had like a mental
Mhm.
breakdown. I have to take down like, I have to now have balance. Like it's like, and I feel like since she came on the scene, we have just been talking, not me and you, but just people have just been talking about Simone Biles in a way that's like she defies gravity. Like, she can go so
Mhm.
high. She can do any flip. She's the strongest person. And I feel like
It's a
it
lot
has
of
made
pressure.
yeah, it's a lot of pressure, and it is also like no, she's not superhuman. Like she can fall, she can like she can like not stick
Mhm.
landings. Like she almost like fell off the beam today. It's like I feel like it was a good reminder that like she's a person, and like
Mhm.
she's not
All
just
these
this weird
people.
phenomenon.
Yes. I actually saw this Allen Iverson clip that was like he was just saying that. Like he's just like, I'm a human. Like, I think it's just weird how humans are like I guess because we see people doing these super natural kind of things, but it's like it is human. Like, yes, there's like certain talents
Mm-hmm.
about it and like a disposition, but it's also just a lot of hard work
Mm-hmm.
and you
Mm-hmm.
know just the dedication and like the family dynamic that it allows you to dedicate your life to that. Like, it's just
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. Like, all the stories that I'm hearing about these athletes, and just like, there was a girl in Brazil, I don't know her name, but she was like, her brothers had to like walk her to,
Rebecca, yeah. I followed her on
yeah,
Instagram. I like since the last Olympics. I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah.
She's really good too, and people don't talk about her a lot, but she like scores like a couple points under Simone Biles all the time. You know, like she's
Mm-hmm.
extremely good.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And she's black,
Mm-hmm.
Afro Latino, I guess.
Yes, yeah. So I really appreciated that, and I'm just enjoying watching it. And yeah.
Gymnastics is really fun. I'm really excited for track. Well, sorry, I don't want to move on to the next thing. Is there anything else about Simone Biles? I also like feel like with Simone,
Mm-hmm.
it made me really. I don't know. It was just I don't know. It was beautifully done. It was a beautifully done documentary. It made I knew about her like going into foster care because I feel like they've been ever since she started her first Olympics. They've been talking about that
Mm-hmm.
story.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
knew that her
I didn't
grand.
know that. I didn't
Wow.
know any
Okay.
of that.
I
Alexis,
am.
I didn't know that. Stop making me feel
You
bad.
don't need to feel bad. I'm
You're
just
just like,
shocked.
wow, oh my god.
I'm
Like,
just shocked because
no.
I feel like that's like the one thing they always talk about with Simone Biles, but
I'm
like,
telling you, I literally just am like, yay, Simone. When I talk about,
mm-hmm,
like, I literally posted that
mm-hmm,
Beyonce gif today, like me watching the Olympics. Cause that
mm-hmm,
is how it is. It's just like, I'm just cheering y'all on. I don't
mm-hmm,
really know. I know you're amazing.
mm-hmm,
And I do appreciate when I watch their documentaries, like even the Michael
mm-hmm,
Jordan thing, when it's just like, okay, they're breaking it down why this man was so amazing. Like, I feel
mm-hmm.
like that's another example of like somebody that
I don't know
was
anything
just
about him. I just know I know only a couple things,
like,
but
that would be a good one for you to watch
yeah, I've
because
been wanting to
it's
watch his 30
crazy.
for 30.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like a lot of people have a lot of thoughts about her relationship. We don't have to get into it, but I feel like you could see their relationship more on display in that documentary, which was
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely and I just again, like even after today, I was like, it's like very hard for me to honestly believe he didn't know who she was because I'm just like, it's like yeah, they only
Yeah.
met like 2 years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, and it's
And
like
did
she was a
he said that?
yes, he said that on that podcast he was on. He had no idea who she was, and it was like 2 or 3 years ago she was a mega star, like like she was coming off of
Yes.
the
I mean,
Olympics.
2012,
Yeah,
that was her first
exactly.
Olympics.
That's why
That's
I'm
like when we
like,
started hearing about her.
it's like so
And
shocking to me.
even like you said, if you don't know everything, it's like even I, a person that's not an athlete, knows about Simone
That's why I'm like,
Biles
as a
and knows she's
professional athlete,
amazing.
he didn't know who Simone Miles was. It's like, it's hard for me to believe it. Part of me thinks he's like trying to humble her. Like, I don't know. I just don't believe it for a second. And I'm like, you're telling me you didn't turn on a TV and watch a Gatorade commercial? You didn't see her on a magazine in a store and think, who is this person? Like, you're
Oh.
telling me you had no idea who she was? Like, and then for her today to become the most decorated gymnast, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, and you're telling me you didn't know who this girl was? Like, I don't know. It's just like I find that to be the most disrespectful thing to say out loud. Like, I feel like even if that was true, I would have never said that on a public platform about my like
Yeah,
partner,
I
because
know.
it's just I feel like you wanted to humble her. It's just hard for me to
I need
believe
to
it.
listen to the clip again. It's been a long time since I watched that
Mm-hmm.
clip. But I am just, it's just like, I definitely been hurt before. So I just always get nervous about men in general. And like, I just don't want people to get their heart broken. And I feel like I just
Mm-hmm.
don't have a lot of faith in men, sadly. Sadly. But again, like you said, just talking about her, knowing what type of pressure she's under, and just, she is just a Black girl out here doing, like, she's a human doing her best.
Yeah.
And
I hope
she's
that
under
she's
so
okay.
much pressure. So I'm just like, I hope that this is a healthy, supportive relationship.
Me
Like that's how they
too.
showed it on the on the documentary.
Me too.
And I just pray, like that's all I can do.
Me too.
And yeah, like, and who knows, maybe he did. Maybe that was a comment that he made, and hopefully, you know, maybe even in that moment he was able to, or not in that moment, maybe, you know, through their relationship therapy he's been able to recognize that he does that or something. I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
But you know, I hate that their relationship is like something that people
talk about and critique.
Yeah,
Yes, I agree too, because she deserves happiness, and that's like my whole thing. It's like, I just hope she knows who she is and he knows who she is now, because it's just like, you are with the absolute best gymnast in the world, and maybe
right. It's like, if
ever.
You didn't know, then you should know.
And
oh
you
my
need
God,
to.
my dog is
He's ruining the
crazy right now.
couch. No.
Jupiter, you never do this, and this is crazy.
And I hope that, like, I hope that she just never has to question that, because I'm just like, I don't know. Moving on.
Tell your thoughts, Alexis.
I don't even know what I was gonna say, but it's just more so, it's like, I'm just so exhausted by the fact that, like, she's with someone who is like I just remember the clip. They were like, "How'd you pull Simone Biles, man?" He was like, "It's really how she pulled me. Like, I didn't know who she was," and it's just like,
right.
And it's like, are you kidding me?
Like, I know. Trust me, I know. I think we don't all, but I just get nervous about everybody. I mean, they're young. It's just like, you know, and I'm just like, they're married. It's just a lot. And it is a lot. I really just pray for her happiness. I pray that they will continue together, and like you said, hopefully he knows what the fuck he has now. Like, you know, maybe he said he didn't, but hopefully now he does.
But wait, I want to say this too. I am so excited for track, because after watching the Sprint documentary series, I feel like I just can't wait to cheer on Sha'Carri. Like, I feel like, hold on, I can kind of hear myself. I feel like she's had, she had a couple years of bad press when, like, she made the Olympics, but then couldn't go because of her drug testing. And then she had a couple usage. Yeah. And then she had a couple like bad races, I feel like, following that, where people were like, oh my gosh, like, and she was just talking a lot too. And people were just like, okay, but you need to be able to back it up. I just remember it being like a couple years of bad press. And then I feel like there was a time where she like got off of social media and just like locked into her craft and like wasn't talking like her cash money. Like, it was just like, she was being fine. Like, she was just, we're doing her work. And then this Sprint documentary comes up and you kind of see what she's been doing for the past couple of years. And I'm just like, I am so fucking proud of this woman.
Yes.
And I think her coach is like the best coach in the world. Like, I don't know if you saw this part in this documentary, but
I haven't gotten there yet.
She's about to do like the world, because I don't know if you know this, but she's like, people refer to her as the fastest woman in the world because she like won the worlds or whatever. So she's about to do her race, and he's like holding her hand, and they're like walking, and the music in the background is like super intense. And he's like, all right, I'm about to ask you a question, but I'm not going to ask you till we get inside. She's like, yes, sir. And it's like, they're like, okay, you're like, okay, I'm ready for the question. He's like, all right. He was like, I'm gonna ask you to, and I don't want you to say anything. I want you to show me. She's like, yes, sir. He like gives her a hug, and he like whispers in her hair, and sorry, in her ear. He's like, who's the fastest? And you can just see her like, her mind, like her whole demeanor changes when she asks it. Like, she's like, oh, really? And he's like, you got me? She's like, I got you. They like go, and she like kills the race. And it's just like one of those moments where it's just like, damn. And he's like crying, and he's like, you deserve everything. And I'm just like, she deserves everything. And so I just hope, and I'm just like, I just love seeing like a Black woman get poured into like that. And I'm like, she's about to kill it. I think she's about to come in here and like kill it.
She is. And she is such an amazing showmanship. Like, it's just fun to watch her. It's fun, yeah. So I can't wait to watch her too. And yeah, that sounds like an amazing. I can't wait to get to that part. And I'm just like, it really does like inspire you.
Hell
Like you can
yeah.
see what your body can do, what you're able to lock into and just like push through. Like these people are so dedicated. And it's just cool to see. I just love that they still do the simple things. Like I just feel like when they're warming up, it's just like they're rolling up their shoulders and just like doing simple stuff that like you just gotta do. And that's been really inspiring. I feel like with the Suni Lee story, which if people don't know, she had like some kidney issues and like really was like out of the sport for a little bit. And um and and like had to like relearn everything and come back. And I just feel like both her and like Simone Biles and Suni Lee had to like really
Go
start
back to the
over,
basics.
go back
Yeah.
to the basics. And it's just like that is so humbling and so like I think it just shows that level of dedication. It's just like it does remind me of like how when Beyonce said that she like had the twins and like had to get back to performance ready. It's just like there's a
Yeah.
level of dedication that you get to, and it's just like wow. And there's a good Nike commercial out and it's like not everybody is great, like or like
I
not
saw
everybody
that.
can
I
win
saw
or
that.
something, or not everybody are winners. And I'm like, and it's just so fast, it's just like yikes, like it's true, like it's just like these people are
Let me tell you.
going beyond. Like, and I really would love to watch the Para Olympics. Is that what it's
Yes. Yeah,
called?
Paralympics, yeah.
Like, cause I just am so inspired by these
Absolutely.
stories.
Absolutely. And just like
Oh yeah, the Paralympics is August 28th through September 8th.
okay, I'm gonna make sure I tap into that because I'm like, it's so inspiring. I mean, and that's why I feel like I was so emotional with the like Beyonce like thing, Beyonce little welcome to USA, because I was just like, these people have done. It's like they're walking unicorns, you know. It's like these
they
people
respect each other.
Yes, I mean to get to the point of the Olympics, like I'll never forget. I don't know, was it maybe it was another Simone Biles documentary I watched, and maybe this is how I knew her backstory. But it's like there was a decision that came, you know, when she was in middle school, maybe, where it was like, okay, like if you want to get to the Olympics and do this, like you no longer can go to school. Like, you know, it has to be homeschooling, it has to be tutoring. Like your normal 9 to 5 is now gymnastics instead of classes, and I just feel like people don't understand. Like
people don't.
These are people who like who have done their craft in a way we can no longer understand. Like this is what they do from 9 to 5, probably then from 5 to 10.
Oh my god, this is
every weekend,
how they eat.
Yes,
this is their
exactly.
bodies.
They
like,
have not had a day off
their
from
mind
flipping
and their
for years.
bodies.
Exactly. And I feel like that's something very few people can dedicate like like literally their entire life. Like I don't know if I could have made that sacrifice in high school. Someone was like, well, if you really want to like do this,
the way that I did not want to wake up for a swim
exactly
the way that I would complain and not want to swim in this winter. We talked about this,
like moving to different states, like your family moving to different state to like so you can go to a specific
it is
gym
a certain dedication.
Yes,
I loved sports. I had fun and I was talented at it, but I did not, it was not like, you know, this is what I want to do. It has to really be, I think, a love.
Yes.
It's like they love this in a different way.
And
in
that's
a really
why I'm like
way.
so happy for the Olympics. And I try to like
yes.
today, I just like keep NBC on and just like watch whatever they play.
Yeah.
Because I want to honor all the sports. Because I'm like, these people are working so hard.
Oh my God.
And so that back to the Beyonce thing, I was like so inspired because I'm like, yeah, like I don't think I've ever worked this hard for anything. You know what I'm saying? And now they're like the one, they're like best at, like I don't know, it's like they're the top 15
in the world,
in the country, and they can now represent the country. And now, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yes,
I don't think it's inspiring. Like it truly is. It makes you want to root for them.
It definitely is. And I think that again, I'm glad that, you know, as I mature, I can understand the Olympics more. Like I feel like it's always been a fun, you know, just like a fun thing that happens. And like I know that like the like, I've heard a lot about it, but I feel like now I'm learning even more, and like
Mm-hmm.
I love I just love to watch it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a swimmer. I love swimming, and just I do love sports and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like a fun 2 weeks or however long it is to watch, the best of the best. And so
I
it's
agree.
fun.
I
I love it.
agree.
And
I
I'm
love
like gonna be
it.
tuning in now. Like it's just like, oh, now I get
Just turn
it.
on NBC. Like today they
That's
played
what I've
like,
been doing.
oh
I
good,
called you
okay.
when there was on. Remember? I've been
Yes,
watching,
that's
and I've
right. That's
had my
right.
like 4 screens up. Like I've been watching
Excellent.
a lot of the.
Excellent.
We watched the equestrian a
I
little bit
really like the
today.
women's rugby I watched. I'm like so inspired by the women's rugby. Like this is the first time they've
Mm-hmm.
ever gotten a medal in the sport ever for the US.
Wow.
And they got
Yeah.
it this year. They like their standout like breakout star. She got to 1 million followers on like Instagram today I saw, and it was like a big deal.
Oh, I
I'm just like
know.
I
I'm
love
like,
these
I
people.
know.
And
They're
we
like
own
real people. Like, it's not like they're
yes.
like, they get brand deals or whatever, but
Right.
you
But
know what I'm
only
saying?
some
These
of them
people,
get brand
yeah, this
deals,
is like
right?
humble. These
You
are
gotta be
humble beginning.
Simone.
It's
Right.
right, exactly. And it is so like I really love it too. And it's like they're young people too, like some of them or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
when the
It's
gymnasts were
inspiring.
waving, I was like waving back at them. They were like
Yes.
waving. I was like,
I'm
girl.
just so excited for them. And so
Me
like that's why I'm
too.
like,
And it's
and
just
I
like a moment in time to catch. I feel like
yes, absolutely.
that too is like I'm like I just know my life in the summer times where the Olympics happens. Like who knows what the hell I was doing? I was
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
stressing about something
Mm-hmm.
probably. But now it definitely is a good time to be present because it doesn't last that long, and it's just like it's like tune the fuck in, like lock
Right.
in and be
And for some of these
inspired.
people, I think it might be the last time we see them. Like, I think
I know. That's what
Simone
I'm
Biles, it
realizing
will. I
too.
think Katie Ledecky, it'll be the last time she swims. I think Suni Lee will probably go for another one, or maybe two more. Oh my god, who is the other person?
Yeah.
I mean, Simone Manuel, the black girl swimmer. She probably is her last Olympics. Probably.
Oh
Like, there's some
goodness.
people that it's like we probably won't see
Yeah.
them again, and so you got to tap in.
You really do. And I feel
Diana
like
Taurasi, basketball. Like, I don't know, just a lot of
yeah.
people.
Yes. Oh my god, I saw Brittany Griner playing. I was like, "Oh my god, this is so
Right. Oh my
cool."
gosh. Like I would love Brittany Griner like fascinates me. Like I need to
We
buy
need
her
a
book.
documentary.
Oh, I'm
Oh, she
sure
has
we're
a
getting
book.
it. I'm sure we're getting it.
Yeah, I'm very inspired. Like yay sports, like, and I feel like
Yes.
it's like different too because you know I also feel like my brain has to like click too because I just feel like with actors' names and stuff, there was like a time where like I didn't really know actors' names,
Mhm.
and then it was
Mhm.
like no, I'm gonna like start knowing these people,
Yeah.
and so that's how I feel now, and it's just so fun. I just
It
really do
is.
love sports. Like I feel like I'm reconnecting to my love of sports, and
Yes.
I want to
I
play softball again
I feel like
and
the thing that
swim.
like really inspires me about the Olympics too is that you can be a teen. I feel like, most of the time with professional
Yes,
sports you have to be an adult, but I feel like
right.
the Olympics is a rare time where you could literally have like a
Yes.
15-year-old in the pool next to you. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's so inspiring. Like Michael Phelps's
It's an
first Olympics,
equalizer.
they said today, he was 15 at his first Olympics.
It's
And it's
crazy.
just like I don't know. It's just like it's the rare time where like you could be a teen and like swim
Yeah.
next to your idol or like be on a team
Right.
with your idol, and you're like, wait,
Yes.
what?
And on that note, I don't want to end on this like a negative note, but I'm just like, I pray that it is becoming a safer, because it's just like the way they were acting just in 2020 with Simone Biles, it's like we really need to take care of our mental health. And these are young
Mm-hmm.
people. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we don't need to put the pressure of the country on these children. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, whatever, it's nice to have, but like their bodies and their minds are more important because they have to live on past this. Like you said, this is like a young sport. So it's like they're going to do this. And then what are they going to do?
I think Simone is a good like catalyst for that, and I mean, obviously, it's not all the way
Yes.
done, but I hope like her legacy,
She
yes, will be that
is.
she's like a goat, but also I hope that she probably even like her legacy after this will be like also that like she was the beginning of like balance when it comes to this type of stuff.
It is definitely, she has ignited that conversation. I just hope that, yeah, I just know that countries can be fucking crazy. You know, it's like we're talking about people all over the world. Like they were talking about the stuff in Russia they used to be doing.
Russia, we won't be hearing from them for a while for these Olympics. Have you watched Icarus?
No.
Oh my god.
What is that on?
Netflix. It's a documentary, but I feel like
Oh, I started it. It's about like the bike.
Yes, but then it's like he's a biker.
Then it goes into so much shit. Okay,
but then it kind of unravels the whole like Russian cheating at the Olympic shit, you know? And so I feel like it's a good way to show that just like Russia is just like really fucked up when it comes to this type of stuff. Yes, this has been I really have enjoyed talking about the Olympics, and go Team USA. And go Sha'Carri.
Yes, cheering for all of you. Like all of this is Black girl magic.
Absolutely.
And Black boy magic. God.
And did you watch the men's? Yes, I was about to say the men's gymnast.
Yes,
they did so well.
I know. It's just so beautiful.
Yes, I'm so happy. It's just great.
so happy too. Like I'm happy that I can be happy in this moment and just like realize and be inspired. I need some inspiration.
Be inspired, yes.
Yeah, so we will talk to you guys next week. Please email us or DM us, but you can email us at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
Send us those ideas. Send us those what is it? Sponsorships too.
Money.
Yay,
I just texted you what I think we should name the
perfect.
The podcast episode.
Because you know that question's coming.
And I just feel like it would be well with the theme. Okay, but yeah, we'll talk later.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcast. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.